In this segment, we're going to cover the signs that are used for Lord, I lift your name on high. Now, this is a good song for signing, except it gets a little busy with the words. It's repetitive, so you won't have to learn as many signs, but we're going to simplify a few of the phrases so that you're not so frantic with your hands. The point of these is not so much to interpret for a deaf audience. This is geared, of course, to a hearing audience. It's a way for us to be able to participate more fully with our bodies during this time when we really can't participate with our voices as strongly as we would like. So let's start at the top. The first line is, strangely enough, Lord, I lift your name on high. And we sign that with our L hand from shoulder to waist, like a Miss America sash. Lord, and this is the letter I, or you can just point to yourself. I lift is not just straight up, but it's like you're coming over a stair step. Lift and forward. Lord, I lift your is an open palm to God. You don't point to God. Lift your name. You take your two fingers together and tap them. Name. On high, we're going to leave off. We're just going to sign lift your name. Okay? So let's try that much. Lord, I lift your name on high. Okay? The next sentence is, Lord, I love to sing your praises. Lord, we know. Lord, I love, and you can do fists or you can do open. I love to sing is waving your right hand over the forearm of your left hand. Lord, I love to sing your praises is taking your index finger from your mouth. Praises. Speak, applaud. That which is applause spoken that is applause worthy. Praises. Let's try that phrase again. Lord, I love to sing your praises. The next phrase is, I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad. We're just going to sign happy. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. We're just going to sign happy. We're not going to do the I'm so. I'm so glad you came to save. Take your S hands like you're breaking out of a chain. Save us. Us is signed like the Boy Scout salute, shoulder to shoulder. So glad you came to save us. Okay? Let's take that from the very first line of the verse and see how we do. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came. Came is like you're hooking something to come down. You came down from heaven to save us. Okay? So that's the first verse. The chorus is, you came from heaven to earth to show the way. So we're just going to pull down, you came from heaven to earth. We're going to leave off heaven just to keep it simpler. You came from heaven to earth. Earth is signed with your middle finger and your thumb, and you put it on the back of your hand and just rotate it. You came from heaven to earth to show, index finger to your palm, and you bring them both out forward. Like, I want to show you something. To show the way, and you can either leave your hands open or I always initialize everything. And it's like you're outlining a path. To show the way. You sashay down a little bit. To show the way. You came from heaven to earth. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. Now, instead of signing all the prepositions, you came from heaven to earth to show the way. We're going to go from the earth to the cross. From the earth to the cross, my debt, which looks a lot like show, but there's no motion. My debt, you owe me. My debt to pay. And you can either just rake that forward just with your index finger, pay, or if you're like me, you like to initialize everything, pay. You take the P hand, pay. My debt to pay. Okay, let's try it from heaven to earth. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth, gotta remember to get your fingers back there, from the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. Okay, now the second half of that is from the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. We already know that line. So from the cross, so we're going to, from this to this, from this to this. So from the cross, you take your C, make the sign of the cross, from the cross to the grave, and grave is open palms like this, from grave. It's like the mound of fresh dirt over top of a new grave. The grave, from the grave to the sky, and I'm going to sign heaven for that. From the grave to the sky, because that's the hope. Our hope is in heaven. Lord, I lift your name on high. That's the chorus. Let's try the whole chorus together. You came from heaven to earth. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Good enough? Let's try the whole thing from the top, a little bit faster. Okay, so we've been through the whole thing. Let's put it together from the top. I'll kick it up a notch faster and we'll see how we go. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. How'd you do?